Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get the latest updates.
So the details of this epicenter and the Chinese response is what I'm looking at in the initial phases. So as of May, we have 97% of all deaths in China were concentrated in Wuhan, and about 80% of all cases were in Wuhan. So the initial delay in reporting these cases have been documented all across. Of course, even the leadership has acknowledged there was an initial delay. And in fact, we also, thanks to Dr. Hemant Adlakha for bringing up the Fang Fang Wuhan diary in the last seminar, because we also were able to actually read it after that and look at what the details were. I mean, in fact, the Fang Fang write-up gives a complete day-to-day unfolding of what happens on an everyday basis in the context of Wuhan, the pandemic, the frontline workers, how they are dealing with it, what happens with the hospital systems, what happens with daily livelihood. She talks about everyday lives of people, how it gets disrupted completely, what happens to people who are not COVID patients but are not able to access the institution. So it's kind of an unfolding of a pandemic of the scale, which has never happened before. And the fear is palpable. Like, you can read it through her diary, like the kind of fears, the small joys, you know, and every day, the deaths, which are initially distant, but become closer home, people she knows. So all these things unravel over a period of time. And the interesting part is, like, what she says in one of the statements is when she's asked by the media person as to, you know, so what lessons has China learned from this? I mean, in fact, she responds back by saying it's not a lesson just for China, it's a lesson for the entire world, because as Rama said, the fault lines were quite clear. It emerged very starkly in the case of China and also for the rest of the world. In fact, in the epidemic preparedness, North America comes first in the rankings, but obviously it hasn't been able to live up to that. And we know the kind of difficulties people have faced.